into the subject. So that's what we're going to do this morning, is watch a documentary. It's going to cover, it will not cover the Akkadian Sumeria religion, but it will cover Greek, Roman, and Mayan. So those were three of the five that were presented in your book. And this is called The Lost Worlds. And if we're not able to get through this information and you would like to look at it more on your own, your name, please?
Angela.
Perez, correct? You can go to this website. It's Top Documentary Films.com, and it's all kinds of useful information there. You click on Browse Documentaries, and then scroll down and look on the right-hand side, click on Religion, and it'll take you to every documentary they have dealing with religion. Please don't watch them all because we're going to use a few in here. But if we don't get through this and you're interested, you can find this at TopDocumentaryFilms.com. It's called The Lost Gods. Yes, George?
I just had one question. You might be able to answer this. Since you were talking about the Mayans anyway, how come, I guess what I want to ask is, like, you know how they say the Mayan can't, like, I guess the Mayans, like, had their calendar ahead, and, like, supposedly they have that doomsday prediction based on the end of the Mayan calendar. I guess what I was wondering is, how come the Mayans did that? Like, how come they had their calendar so far ahead of their time?
This must have been some people. Rihanna?
Yes, that's
Okay.
there is no doomsday clock.
Oh, I don't believe in it. I'm just wondering why they planned so far ahead, why they had their calendar fixed.
Well, as you're going to learn in the documentary, they had an extremely good mathematical system and understood the universe and the movement of stars and things. So, okay, so let's get into this. Hopefully the volume and everything is where it should be. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I know it's all the way up here.
Yeah, you're there. It's just maybe fixed. Yeah, I'm just, you go to
It is 2,000 years for the Christian era. Here, the Greek mainland is ravaged by barbarian invaders. Civilizations do not grow in shadow. To tell the story of the Greeks and their gods, I must go to where it all began. Egypt, Sumeria, and Mesopotamia were already ancient, but the first advanced civilization in Europe flowered on the island of Crete. They were known as the Minoans. Perfectly positioned on the Mediterranean, they grew rich and powerful. The secret of their success lay hidden in the folds of mountains. Grain, timber, and olive oil traded for gold, ivory, and precious
precious stones. But what of their gods? From earliest times, they worshipped the earth goddess, who blessed their fields with plenty. When a wave of immigrants brought a sky god from Southeast Asia, the Minoans married earth and sky. The union of heaven and earth would produce two families, the family of gods above, the family of mortals below. The gods gave form and meaning to the mysteries of the universe. The mortals offered worship in return. From this fusion of heaven and earth came religious art and architecture. And the jewel in the crown was Knossos. The palace of Knossos was a bustling hive of 1,500 rooms covering 2 hectares. It had workshops, kitchens, warehouses full of storage yards. It had terracotta plumbing and 2 stories of rooms and passages underground. Long gone religious processions are recorded in the frescoes painted on wet plaster. Monumental stone stairways connect the quarters of commoner and king. The center of power, the alabaster throne, remains, flanked by the benches of advisors, guarded by sedate griffins. In the Queen's chamber, dolphins frisk across the wall. But the most famous work of art in Knossos is the bull reaper. The bull was the sacred animal of the Minoans, the source and symbol of royal and divine power. And then it all came crashing down. In 1650 BC, the neighboring island of Terra, now Santorini, exploded, showering Crete with volcanic ash. 200 years later, Crete itself was rocked by an earthquake.
Already, the religious belief, art and architecture of the Minoan civilization were ebbing to grief and to glory.
In the popular mind, the Greek family of gods expanded and fought among themselves. The infighting on high was reflected below. A mighty city competing for power. What fused them together was a common enemy, the Persians. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. The Persian crisis brought Pericles to power and welded the cities to a common cause. The Persians defeated, Athens reigned over Greece, and the Acropolis was its crown. It was the beginning of the Golden Age. Acropolis means high. High because high meant holy. Humanly, it was a refuge from attack, close to farms, but far from the sea and pirates. If, as legend held, the gods lived on Mount Olympus, then their images would be housed and worshipped here. But which god would be patron of Athens?
Typically, there was an argument. Poseidon, the sea god, created a saltwater spring for the citizens on the Acropolis, but Athena planted an olive tree and won their worship. This is its descendants, worshipped by Athenians for generations.
A consolation prize for Poseidon, the Erechtheion, a masterpiece of Greek architecture and sculpture, built in 420 BC. On the northern face, 6 columns in the Ionic style still stand, with scroll tops and pearl motifs on the abacus. On the southern face, something rare and imaginative. 6 caryatids, handmaidens of the goddess Artemis, support the porch. Unlike Christian, Muslim, and Jewish temples, Greek temples were homes for the gods, rather than houses of worship. And this is the spectacular home of Athena, patron of Athens. The Parthenon dominates the Acropolis and seems to continue and complete the upward thrust of the hill. It was built in Pentelic marble in the Doric style and housed a vast statue of Athena. In fact, the gold and ivory statue cost more than the building. The Athenians did not forget the Persians. Plaques around the temple were carved with scenes symbolizing the triumph of good over evil, civilization over barbarism. Some have managed to survive over 2,500 years.
The Acropolis, the high city, would house the gods in splendor for all eternity. But what of the mortal men who built it?
The Kerameikos Cemetery has been the last resting place for the great and good of Athens for over 2,000 years. Some tombs reflect the heroism of martyrs. Others, the grief of mourners. Still others harken back to the powerful symbols of ancient times.
But the question remains, where is the dead thrown? Did they cross the river Styx in the underworld with Charon the ferryman to paradise, punishment of what one writer called an eternity of boredom? According to legend, Zeus, the sky god, released 2 eagles in opposite directions. Wherever they met would be the center of the world. This is the spot in Delphi marked by the Omphalos, the navel stone.
Delphi, like the medieval Vatican, had immense power. Apollo's temple, the most famous of all Greek shrines, was terraced into the hillside. It had colonnades, meeting rooms, and a stadium. Because the god Apollo had killed the Python, a monster serpent who had attacked his mother, that Pythian games were held here in his honor